Welcome to the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 90. The first setup was submitted by David. See, like the left side where you just sit in front of it and just listen to music.
That's I thought was interesting.
Yeah, not when you're at your computer, but only when you sit to the left and you just like, I like this.
The speakers just being kind of its own separate thing. I was like, okay, that's interesting. It doesn't feel like it's cohesive with the gaming, playing on the computer part of the setup. It feels like, if you want to play music while you're in your room, you do that, but like you can't necessarily use it while you're using the computer. I mean, it's just a very simple, I don't look at this and say, oh my god, this is sexual. I just look at this and I'm like, it's nice.
David scored a 60. The next setup was submitted by David.
This setup, it's hard because you want to look at the right side, you want to critique it, but then at the same time, you want to say, David, you're a douche. Your brother's sitting over there like, I got one monitor, I'm just doing what I gotta do, and he's over there like, bitch. So yeah, like when I look at that, I think your little brother's probably so sad. I mean, you got an ultra wide, and then you still have to use that 4x3. I mean, goddamn, give him the 4x3. Let him have something. What do you think about this?
I think it's not bad. There's certain aspects of it that I love, and I think, like, for example, the lighting, that might have been automatic, like that was already there. They didn't even add that in, and it just looks really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
But everything above that lighting, everything above that just is super distracting. If they got that together and a little bit more organized, or just something that made more sense, that it would be significantly less distracting and make the setup look overall better.
David scored a 61. The next setup was submitted by Wally.
Initial thoughts. There's just a few small things that need to be changed that would make it more perfect in my opinion, because I think it did a really good job overall. The headphone cable that going underneath the desk is a little distracting, and I feel like you might like pull it out or like roll over it with your chair or something. And then that thing on the far right is just really bothering me. I don't understand why that's there.
The stool?
Yeah, the stool with what is that, a modem or something? I don't know what that is. It's just bothering me.
Yeah, and it's like very awkwardly placed too.
Yeah, it's like you have room on your desk to have it there.
He's like a wide open space. He's like, no, this cannot go on.
And
here.
then this cable is stranded to it. It's just like, what? Why is this here?
The monitor arrangement is a little bit weird due to the they're not consistent, but it's not that. Like, I don't think that's the problem. I just feel like I don't know how the usability is for that, but I guess it's his setup. He's obviously going to leave it there because that's what works for him, and more power to you.
Wally scored a 76. The next setup was submitted by Lee.
Okay, this is very, very, very simple, and I've actually started to turn these setups, these submissions away. I'll be like, it's too simple. I can't really critique it because that's really the case here. Because we're just going to get that generic, tips like, hey, dude, put a theme to it.
Honestly, when I first saw this, there was a few things that bothered me. The main thing being the blank space above and then a giant poster to the left. It's like you could have just put that above your setup.
Yeah, that looks like a college desk almost.
Yeah,
like
it does.
A dorm. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, that poster is so nice and it shows that you like cars, but it's not. I mean, it looks like it's over nothing. So I don't know what that's accomplishing, but
yeah, I would have just thrown the poster above the monitor and threw a screensaver or whatever on the monitor. Would have made it a little better.
And I say this every single time, but no joke, it's all about presentation, because if it looks visually appealing, we're gonna be more prone to like give you more points. So like if you had something on that screen, I totally agree. If it was a car, if it was whatever, I'd be like, damn.
Lee scored 70. The next setup was submitted by Nifty.
This compared to the other shared setup, like this is nice. It's clean. I love the color of that wall, and I love that the other wall colors are different. The posters, I get more, I guess, or like finish it. You just kind of stopped.
You get like 2 more and you'd be okay.
Yeah, and I love the Heisenberg one. I think that looks great. The other one might be a little too small to really fill up space, but you can make it work where you put that in the center and you put 2 big posters on opposite sides. Now, what are your thoughts on the actual desk in the bottom left? I mean, I guess that's where he does homework or something.
I liked it at first because it's for, doing written, homework assignments, whatever. But I feel like it's very intrusive to the left side of the setup.
One thing that I would say about your setup, like it's really, really nice, but the fact that you are using a laptop, it makes me think, okay, if you're not gonna actually use the laptop, you don't need the screen open, get a nice dock that will help make it look a bit cleaner, or kind of stand it up a little bit, and I just think that would give you a little bit more room, because that laptop is technically just taking up all the free space.
Nifty scored an 82. The next setup was submitted by Scott.
Yeah, he's 28, and this is like, you can tell it's a little bit more sophisticated, not only from just the pictures like you were saying that kind of give it away. It's just like, it looks like he has a dedicated office in his house. Like the mouse pad's like one of the first things that I'm like, oh, okay. Like I just can't stand how the keyboard's like at that angle.
Yeah, it's CSGO thing, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, CSGO. It just makes me so angry. I'm like, how do you use that? A lot of people are saying laptop stand, laptop stand, laptop stand. I mean, yeah, a laptop stand, it's one of those accessories that's always gonna help. In this situation, yeah, I think it would be fine. I don't think it's like, he has to do it or it's like the end of the world. It looks like he kind of takes it on the go and it's like a decent spot to just throw it down. There's no splash of color, and I think that's one of my, like you were saying, like the black and the brown or whatever. Like splash of color would definitely make this a lot nicer, but if you're going for that sophisticated, mature look, then you did it.
Scott scored a 78. The next setup was submitted by Zach.
It's a very nice setup. I love the personality that goes through it. I like the contrasting wall. Not a big fan of the wallpaper, but you know, personal preference. I like that he has a dedicated gaming area to the left. He's got his dedicated work area to the right. I like that the shelves are built in like that. I mean, one thing I would say is like, I don't like how high up the posters are. I don't know if it's like your walls are ginormous, but I feel like they could be centralized a little bit more, maybe pushed down a little, because there's like that huge gap from the monitor. But I don't know, do you think that's, I guess it's not really a big deal.
It doesn't bother me too much. It does bother me a little bit, but you notice how the bottom of the posters match up with the top of the shelf on the left in the first picture?
I guess he didn't want it to like intersect with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Zach scored an 88. The next setup was submitted by Brett.
Taking a look at this, I mean, everything's kind of like scrunched up into that middle section. It's like, I mean, I get it. You have small, you have like, you don't have like the biggest equipment ever, but you know what? It's not about size. The size doesn't matter. You know, you can make it work with whatever you got.
But it definitely feels scrunched together in that small area, or in that large area. It's scrunched into a small area.
Yeah, and I mean, I give you props, man, because it looks like a chill hangout room more than anything, especially with the second photo. And I do give you a lot of props for that. I like the under the bed part more than I like your actual setup. You know, it's just like a nice place to hang out, and especially after college, because college sucks.
Brett scored a 75. The final setup was submitted by Job.
I love this. He's like, I live with my parents. While they are nice, they are also the reason I can't paint this ugly green wall. So that is one thing that actually jumped out at me, quite literally. I mean, then again, you could do some nice green screen work. That's nice. And he actually built the desk and stand with his granddad. And the desk is extra high, and the high monitor stand prevents a bad working position. And I mean, knowing that you don't like the green wall, I like you even more.
But the setup itself is actually really nice. Like, I like how his PC is displayed. His cable management's pretty solid, even for like his microphone and everything. So I think overall it's pretty well done.
Job scored a 71. First place went to Zach with an 88. Thanks for watching this Pimp My Setup highlight for episode number 90.